TED Talks, brought to you by Erbs and Gerbs for the real twin scuttlebutt.
We're gonna score. We're gonna win. Twins, watch that baseball sword.
It's Ted Schwerzler at TL Schwerz on Twitter, Twins Daily, for another TED Talks Twins installment. The big news, obviously, of the offseason was this past week with Minnesota finally moving Jorge Polanco. It looked as though this was probably coming for a little bit. He's obviously been the talk of the Twins' plans for most of the offseason. And then with Twins Fest last week, he was a late scratch. Could have been unrelated, but definitely seemed like the wheels were in motion. The Twins absolutely crushed this trade from a value standpoint. Getting, a fringe top 100 prospect, 2 usable major leaguers, and then a lottery ticket with some upside. All of those are great additions. The unfortunate thing is that Minnesota was looking to upgrade the rotation, as both Sonny Gray and Kenta Maeda, as well as Tyler Mahle, are all gone going into 2024. And they did not accomplish that with Polanco. Maybe that is a reflection of the market that was out there and what they believed they could get. Maybe they were a little bit hesitant to include much more from a prospect capital side, but Anthony DeSclafani is going to do little more than compete for that 5th and final spot, probably in rotation with Chris Paddock. They both have some injury concerns. I mean, DeSclafani and Paddock giving Minnesota 250 innings this year would be a win in my mind. It would represent both of them throwing relatively quality innings as well as being healthy. But neither of them look the part of a guy that should be pitching at the top of the rotation or in a postseason matchup. And the Twins needed to add that number 2 or at worst number 3 starter, and they did not accomplish that. Justin Topa is probably the gem of this trade. Getting that type of reliever, yes, he's a late bloomer. He was 32 last year and made he had made a debut for the Brewers a couple seasons prior. However, finally got run with the Mariners, and it was a great arm. Can be a decent leverage guy, but the Twins don't necessarily need him to be that. He had a sub-3 ERA, solid FIP, decent strikeout numbers. He's a big ground ball guy and should factor in behind, your Duran, your Griffin Jacks, Brock Stewart, Caleb Thielbar. Those guys are going to do a lot of the heavy lifting, but Topa can give Baldelli those middle innings in relief and has probably a much safer floor than somebody like Josh Staumont or even Jorge Alcala. Just a really good get there. The Gabriel Gonzalez piece, there's a wide range of outcomes. He doesn't have probably the ceiling of an Emmanuel Rodriguez, but his floor could end up keeping him out of the majors altogether. So value-wise, it's a good move. Present need or present get it. It just doesn't move the needle. I don't know if the Twins are a better team without Jorge Polanco than they are with DeSclafani and Topa. The Twins have really cried poor all offseason as far as the TV deal goes, and it sounds like after this move, they're focused more on the outfield and right-handed bats. The lineup being added to would be a benefit, but they still just did not go out and get that starting pitcher they needed to accomplish. So it's tough to see Polo go. It's been a long time coming and a long time with Minnesota, but good for Derek Falvey to, I guess, get the value he could out of him, and hopefully the rest of the offseason still has another shoe or two to drop.